So, Redbeard Pirate Radio asked me to be their geopolitical correspondent for this very, very confusing time. And if anybody that we know can navigate confusing effortlessly, uncomprehendingly, it would be yours truly, Eshkalar, the world's greatest Canadian wizard and Archmage of Cuba and parts of Australia, mate. And I want to talk today about some really, really serious stuff. That's right. And hopefully you'll sit here and share the moment with me and decide for yourselves what to think about it. So, we're here in Venezuela, right? Home of the crappiest oil deposits on the planet, and that's because they migrated to their current location through some pretty contaminating uh, regions. And so they are contaminated with some things that we don't like when it comes to refining oil or running naval warships on the crude oil. As a matter of fact, if you've seen those videos where they're making fun of the Russian aircraft carrier, the Admiral Kuznetsov, that's because that black foul smoke and the engine fires are Venezuelan oil. So it's a thing. Now, then I watched, today as a matter of fact, I watched a video on a ongoing mud volcano in Colombia, which isn't all that far from Venezuela. So in Colombia, they have so much natural gas close to the surface that it is struggling to get into American homes, and we aren't letting it. What are our billionaires thinking? So all we have to do with that Colombian gas that's pushing all this mud up, and that's what a mud volcano is. It's when you have a huge liquid, or you have a huge low pressure natural gas deposit, and it's pushing that water and mud that's eroding the rock there all up into these big gouting mud volcanoes. Well, the problem with it is, if the mud volcano is charged with a flammable gas, like methane, which we call a natural gas, the simplest spark could, oh my gosh, here it comes, boom. So that's how I know about this. There was a huge explosion, and livestock killed, property damaged, a road covered in flaming mud. Wow, who needs dog poo in a paper bag outside your door, huh? You got flaming mud coming right up into the carpet. So that means there's an awful lot of methane. Pretty pure, because it separates out as it goes. And we could just basically just put a cap on it. We don't have to pump it. Just put a cap on it and run a pipeline right to the coast. We're already doing that to indigenous American property. I don't see what the problem is. We, claim right of passage or whatever they call it. What do they call it? Eminent domain, right? We get to do this because we're rich and you're not. I think that's 100% of what that means. So then you put it on tankers, of course, and you take it to America, and it goes right into American homes and heats us and cooks our food. And infinite amount of gas forever. It'll never run out. It's like the buffalo and the forests out west. And solve all our problems. Just put a cap on a mud volcano in Colombia and run a pipeline to the sea. Wait, why aren't we doing that? This is the question. Now, it ticks off all the boxes. Get it? Colombia is the center of cartel activity that affects global worker readiness, wellness, and skill set. Colombia is incredibly rich in natural resources, and Colombia is in an unstable political region, just ripe for exploitation. I mean, it's people clamoring for us to import democracy like we did in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we're doing Iran right now. And of course, as you know, America's the great bargainer at the absolute state minimum prices, right? Just like we sell cigarettes. Imagine if Coca-Cola went back to using coca sourced in Colombia for that caffeine kick we so love in the morning, or on morning break, or at lunch, or on afternoon break, and on the way home. Just don't smoke this shit. Ugh, that'll ruin your life. Now, the gangs would go broke if we could buy Coca-Cola like we used to buy coca wines back before prohibition. Heck, we could export our American gangs overseas, compete with the mafia. with their permission, of course. It'd be okay with the Hells Angels running meth, which they do for a living in America, if it was instead happening in Putin's Russia. Imagine the CIA arming the Hells Angels Moscow division with stingers and light-aided tank weapons so that they can clash with Putin's buddies. What's their name again? Oh yeah, it's Nochnie Volki, the Night Wolves. And they're the ones that handle the crocodile and heroin running in the south. So zoom, 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 right from the Afghan border straight onto Putin's pocket mirror. Is that the new definition of first world problems? So we should send a few drones over to video that Moscow gang war and put it all behind a paywall. Imagine, like G.I. Joe on steroids, live ammo too. Oh, right there on your screen. Now this would place the important products before the public eye. MREs, porta potties, off insect repellent, amyl nitrate. Wait, scratch that last. The point is, there's money to be made, and our biggest capitalists are so spoiled by the courts that they're afraid to test the water with their venture capital toesies. It's pretty obvious from that we need a better class of billionaires. The one we've got have failed us. Just saying. That's your old pal Eshkalar, spinning a little geopolitical truth that you won't hear on any news program, will you? I don't think so. Not even John Oliver. Not even, whoever his opponent is across our illusory divide that the rich people don't really honor. Or else they wouldn't all be going to the Epstein Island, would they? What the? Yes. Democrats, Republicans, both. Yeah, and you guys are pointing fingers at everybody except yourselves. That's America, buddy.